We're good. Okay, we'll start then. Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order, January 23rd, 2024, Mount Lebanon Commission. Could we please do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with Manager McGill and a summary of our discussion session topics, please.
I'm gonna start with the roll call. If that's
Oh,
okay.
that's all right. I forgot that. We're all here. Go ahead.
Commissioner Flynn.
Present.
Commissioner Grella.
Here.
Commissioner Siegler.
Here.
Commissioner Silverman.
Here.
Commissioner Swager Wilson.
Here,
Okay. I will now move.
and I'll do that.
Earlier tonight, Commission met in discussion session and received information and discussed the following items. We received an update on the Fire Training Center and Public Works Storage Building Project. We heard a presentation on the sanitary sewer project that will be funded by a small water and sewer grant that was recently received by the municipality. We heard a review of the south garage repair work that will be done in 2024 and some information on future year possible repairs. And we received updates on the various boards that commissioners serve as liaisons to. Prior to that meeting, we met in executive session to receive legal advice from the solicitor on a variety of topics. The next meeting of the commission will be held on Tuesday, February 13th. That meeting will begin at 8 p.m. in this room. Here are the ways the public can participate in person. You don't need to pre-register. Simply show up at the appropriate meeting time or remotely via the Zoom webinar format. Again, you don't need to pre-register. Simply click the link located on the meeting agenda on the municipal website. If you wish to speak during citizens' comments or during public hearings, simply use the raise hand feature on Zoom and you'll be notified when it is your turn to speak. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Commissioner Grella,
Thank you, Madam
community
President.
updates?
Yes, we have a few tonight. Do you know an outstanding Mount Lebanon resident who volunteers and is deserving of the Mount Lebanon Community Service Award? Is this the Volunteer of the Year Award? Oh, is that the same thing? It is. Okay, sorry. Our winners are selected by the Community Relations Board, honored at the biennial volunteer dinner and featured in an upcoming Mount Lebanon magazine. Nominate online at mountlebanon.org/community service award. Nominations are due by February 2nd. I don't know what day that is.
I'm not sure what day of the week.
Friday, February 2nd. So go online, nominate. You'll see some of the previous winners on that website too. It's a pretty cool site. At tonight's meeting, Mount Lebanon Commission is kicking off observance of Black History Month, which was started in 1926 when historian Carter G. Woodson established Negro History Week. In 1976, President Gerald Ford began the tradition of a national declaration of the observance. The 2024 theme is African Americans and the Arts, spanning the many impacts Black Americans have had on visual arts, music, cultural movements, and more. The August Wilson African American Cultural Center is a great source of history about the role of Black individuals in Pittsburgh. They have lots of wonderful information and event listings on their website at awaacc.org. Mount Lebanon has a number of boards and authorities to help advise to the commission. Starting in April, we will be adding 5 new boards with the mission of helping us implement the newly adopted comprehensive plan. To apply for these boards or to apply for other standing boards as terms come to an end, go to mountlebanon.org/boards. Again, the deadline for the applications is February 2nd. Finally, we extend our warmest wishes for a happy Lunar New Year to our vibrant Asian community. We wish you lots of luck and happiness in the year ahead. That is all, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Grella. It's now time for citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for any resident to express an opinion on any topic pertaining to local government. The commission enjoys hearing from the public on various issues and learning about items to address in the future. If you have specific questions, we will try and answer them at the end of your comments. If we can't, we commit to getting you the answers as soon as possible. When I call your name, please come to the podium to address the commission. State your name and address for the record. In fairness, we ask each speaker to share their thoughts for 5 minutes. The community is as good as each person in this room. We work together to make this a community that we can all be proud of, and we expect that the dialogue will remain respectful. We also appreciate the audience's efforts to refrain from any behavior that is disruptive or might intimidate free speech. First on the list tonight is none other than Mr. David Egler.
Egler, 121 Poplar Drive. Took advantage of the time to drop off packets to all of you ahead of time to discuss further the garbage fees. There's an article from the magazine. It's a 4-page staple. If you mainly turn it to page 3 where the chart is, that's what I'm going to address. And if you want to compare that against one of the spreadsheets, the one that says municipality chart, I actually had other schedules on there, but then it turned out to be a disaster. So I'm down to one chart. But basically the first step I'm going to show you, it shows you if it was taxes only, the fees weren't involved, what the millage rate would be, going from 4.91 to 5.73 and so forth and so on. On my chart, it shows the total millage and the millage increase based on this from the magazine, okay? Columns 1 and 2, the year in a contract is right off. Well, I don't have the contract, but I've got to figure my number's going to be very close. I took them right out of the budget. And I know your number's going to be very close. If I'm off anywhere, you can let me know. But first 2 columns are solid. The third column is the dollar increase. That dollar increase is based on the millage, according to this chart, says it needs to go up. When I did the calculation on the first year, I get 2.8 mils, not 8.82 mils. I don't know if it's dyslexic or what, but we're talking a huge difference. I'm covering the $750,000 increase in 1 year with 0.28. This is bringing in almost $2.2 million in the first year alone. And if you continue the other years, it's going to 0.28, 0.1, 0.11, 0.24 for a total of 1.55 mils. If you then look at my chart, I've got under the first part, the Schedule A, that's showing what I feel based on taxes only that's needed. And my numbers with the increase jive to the penny to the contract and the increase from year to year. I'm saying it's going from 4.91 to only 5.67. So I don't know, once again, since nobody's really talking to me, I've sent an invitation twice, I'll send it a third time. Anybody wants to sit down and talk, I'll be glad to. It's a lot easier than standing here 5 minutes for the next 20 meetings, but if I have to come back 20 more meetings, I will. No problem. Bottom line is, I don't know. I'm going on a lot of assumptions and I hate that. Okay. I'm not out to get anybody or whatever else, but the numbers don't jive and they're off by millions. This isn't a rounding error, okay? And if you were looking at this to help make your decision, it's not accurate at all. Okay, now if I'm wrong somewhere, please show me. I don't expect an answer tonight, by the way. Take this, digest it, whatever, but please look at it. My Schedule A shows if you're doing the taxes only. Schedule B is, and I talked about revenue neutral, which was a requirement with the earned income tax switch in the mid-90s with the real estate. That shows that you would basically lower the millage 1.2 mils to offset the fees. That's over $3 million with the fees. Okay, and I get it. That's unfair. The increases in a garbage contract are pretty significant, and you have to make it up. That's where Schedule C comes in. Schedule C shows the tax decrease, fees in place, covering the cost increases by each year. We should have been dropping by the millage this year by 0.92 mils. Okay, we've got an excess of 0.51 mils out there. That's $1.4 million in excess. And I get it. We talked about needing it for capital items and all that. I've said before, you could use surplus funds. Then put it in a budget, use the fund balance, it's done and gone. Problem with the tax increase, you get 1.4 million this year, that's automatically in there next year too, and every year thereafter. So you've got a big windfall in there that's set in millage because you don't have a sense of provision or dropping it back. There's no intention. So this 1.4 million, take it times 5 and see what you get. That's how many more millions you're going to have in 5 years. This is plain and simple math. It's easy to show sitting down and talking, but by doing a tax increase on the millage, and I know you're lowering whatever else, sleight of hand, whatever, the bottom line is, it's a huge increase. If I was in your position, I don't have much time here. If I was in your position, I would have been asking for pros and cons for the taxpayers. List of homes, 1, 3, 5, 7, 900,000, what are the effects? And I would suggest forming a citizens committee to get together to discuss, should we go with fees or with taxes? Now, one very, very important thing to say, but I'm out of time. So I will see you next week. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Barclay.
Oh, no, I won't throw it in. Dave Barkley at 249 Hazel Drive. This past spring, I sent an email to my commissioner and to the manager and asking them to take care of the dying and dead trees around the library. And there still are some dead trees in the back parking lot. I would like to know when that'll be done, and some of the dying trees are along the walkway between Lemoyne and Castle Shannon Boulevard. Will there be a date when that'll be done?
I can't give you that answer tonight, Mr. Barkley. That'll have to come from Mr. Sukol, depending on when those crews are scheduled. He has your contact information, so I'm sure that he'll get that information to you.
I think. And then a second question. Are we ever gonna put up the signs entering our business district where it says no bicycles on the sidewalks? And nowadays you put hoverboard, those electric hoverboards,
Mhm.
skateboards as unicycles. Are we ever gonna put these signs up telling the people that do not ride in our business district on our sidewalks?
Actually, one of those has been reinstalled. It's right outside this building.
Okay, I walk up, I don't see it
Yeah, it's right outside this building. And we will work towards reinstalling, as you know, we replaced all of the light fixtures.
yes.
So a lot of that signage was removed as part of that project. And then we went right into installing the
Okay.
Christmas decorations. So
Are
those,
we gonna bring back the police on bicycles to monitor the streets up here or not?
we still have a bike unit as part of the police department. Again, I don't allocate the patrols, that's done through the chief.
Oh,
So
okay.
whether or not those are going to be active, I know that we utilize that
A few years.
component for a lot of the Main Street events that we have.
Yeah.
But whether it's part of a regular
Cause
patrol,
originally when they redid it the first time and put the signs up, they had the police on their bicycles, and I watched the police officers, when they stopped the guy from running across the street with his pizza from Frank's Pizza Shop, and stopped the gentleman when he was riding his bike on the sidewalk and told him to push the bike by hand the rest of the way out of the business district. And my third question is there anybody can help me get rid of the deer in my backyard, in my neighbor's backyard? It used to be 1 or 2, now we're up to 6. And you keep chasing them out of my backyard. My neighbor tries to chase them out of the backyard. I know that you can't send people in to shoot them because our houses are close, but is there somebody that can help us get rid of our deer problem in our backyards? I mean, if you drive down my street, you could see all the deers walk from Jefferson down through the neighbors across the street. You can see all their foot marks in the snow still. And if you look at my front yard and my backyard, you'll see all the deer. And you can see where they laid down in my backyard. They had melted the snow away, sitting in the,
and the municipality has as you're well aware, we have a deer management program that has a 2-part component. One is a controlled archery hunt, and the second is the sharpshooting. Both of those run through the State Game Commission, because that's who's responsible for deer management in the state of Pennsylvania. Obviously, as you've already said, we have certain areas of the municipality where we cannot safely remove deer. Safety is the primary goal
Yes.
here. So I don't know that there are any other options for you as a resident. That may be a question you can reach out to the state.
Maybe you, oh, I thought maybe on weekends you could come out and help me in the backyard and chase them away. Yes.
Can you call the contractor and find out if his neighborhood or his yard is in the areas where they can safely remove deer?
That's an option. You can go on the website and call. I'm just
Right.
knowing where Mr. Barkley lives.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult for them to safely remove.
That's.
Yeah.
And-
Enjoy a number of properties, is there still enough of a safety zone with the archery? It's gotta be 50
So it
yards.
sounds like contractor info on the website, game commission after that. Jeff's dog third.
Right. Oh. Well, I'll get somebody to help me go through the, I'm not a computer
Web.
whiz guy.
Somebody get him.
I'm
Got
not.
his
Ian
hand
is
up
the-
here.
is the
Ian is.
Point of contact there.
Ian.
See this
right
guy
there.
right here?
Oh, okay. Thank you for your
Ian's
time.
card. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, I don't like the way the garbage situation has been developing in Mount Lebanon. I forgot to back my friend here.
Maybe he'll help you with the deer.
Okay, Colonel Hoon.
Bill Hoon, 456 Coolidge Avenue. And so the deer thing again, my God. But nobody said anything about fence. No, that's the one absolute fence. Otherwise, we can do machine guns, grenades on tripwires. I remember the bright sunny day when I came around the bend in the trail and I looked right in to a nicely hidden mine. 200 quarter-inch ball bearings behind that plastic aimed right at me. That'd be extremely efficient for taking out deer, don't you think? You know, here's the thing. Deer have been here for 12 million years, right in this very spot. How long have we been here? The earliest humans in North and South America, 34,000 years, crossed over from Russia into the Alaska region, 34,000 years. Didn't get to this area until about 17,000 years ago. Deer have a few years on that, I think. And then white men coming in to steal everything they possibly could, they didn't show up until there were some French trappers a little less than 300 years ago. And then folks that look like us a couple hundred years ago. But, you know, these damn deer don't belong here. I mean, we have rights, don't we? Rights to kill anything we want. Well, let me tell you something. We're sitting right there on World War III. There's 2 to 3 Russian subs, nuclear attack subs off our East Coast, just waiting for the right code to ship missiles all over this area, all the way to the Midwest. Huh. And Mount Lebanon has a deer problem. You say that. Somebody else says that. He doesn't know what fence is, I guess. People have also told me that that mesh on their plants, that nylon mesh, deer don't like that. Repellents work if you're religious about it. But geez, we have the right to kill anything we want. Isn't that right, guys? Putin thinks so. He'd love to kill everybody in this country. Well, I didn't intend to mention that, but, you know, I think people need enlightened. And I also wonder why people who can't understand what nature is move into the suburbs. I mean, there's all kinds of housing where all you've got is concrete and glass, and you never have to look at a deer. All kinds of housing. Mount Washington, downtown, all over the place. But it's ever so much fun to go out and kill something that has no defense. I would love to see any of the contractors you guys and your predecessors have hired to kill these damn deer on the Eastern Front in Ukraine. There's not one of them who would be there if somebody else was shooting back. We've seen every one of them right here. Craig B. Swoopy and his goons back in that corner, all of them. There's absolutely no guts there. Yeah. Oh, God.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Colonel Clune. Mr. Reagan, you're up next.
Good evening. My name is John Reagan and I live at 777 Shady Drive East. And for the record, I'm perfectly fine with protecting trees. I was on baby duty the night of the previous meeting, so unfortunately I didn't get to join in the fun regarding the comprehensive plan. I was, however, listening in via Zoom and I noticed something that worried me. An attorney, one John Kamen, spoke in representation of 2 building owners in the Uptown Business District. He listed 5 addresses for his clients, but this was a bit of a conceit. 4 of the 5 addresses were for the same property. My home has 2 functioning street addresses that I can get mail delivered to, so I guess that makes me special too. At first, I considered coming here tonight just to give a satirical piece poking fun at that guy, but after rewatching the meeting video, I decided that he wasn't quite as unprofessional as my initial impression outside of a segment where he seemed to be confused about whether the new Mobility and Transportation Board will be an advisory board or not. I reiterate, I was on baby duty. But his antics brought my attention to something else. As far as I can tell, one of his clients also spoke that night representing herself, which seems to me as though it shouldn't be allowed. His first client was a shell company for some Dutch investment firm or something. That's not important. His second seems to me to have been EM Cranberry Corporate Partners, which, if you recall, also had a speaker by the name of Ms. Lori Moran. Ms. Moran is vice president of Ballymoney Real Estate, a Pittsburgh area strip mall management company that shares a mailing address with and presumably is the ultimate owner of EM Cranberry. A bit of an anecdote. A couple years ago, my wife and I took some classes at a fencing club that was renting out a basement storefront about the size of this room in their Lawrenceville property. The plumbing was broken and the back room smelled disgusting due to what I hear was a rat problem. The club moved north out of the city after a year or two, reportedly because they couldn't afford the $4,000 a month rent for the rat basement, allegedly. Since this woman stressed so much about real estate being an investment, I certainly hope they treat their Mount Lebanon investments better. Or investment singular, I suppose. Moran also engaged in the minor conceit of being vague about the number of buildings her company owns in Uptown, which I'm pretty sure is only 1. Anyway, you have a situation here where 2 people superficially presented themselves as representing 6 or more properties owned by at least 3 different entities, when in reality, it was only 2 properties owned by 2 entities, with one of them being a faceless offshore conglomerate, as far as I can tell. They didn't lie, but EM Cranberry did effectively double dip on speaking time. Now, I don't think a person or company should be allowed to speak at a meeting and then also hire an attorney to speak at the same meeting, especially not if they disguise their relationship. In this case, Ms. Moran was rhetorically outgunned by most of the actual residents on both sides of the issue and seemed so out of touch that it verged on parody. I'm pretty sure at one point she tried to use baby strollers as a scare tactic. But this play could be very dangerous in more capable hands, and I urge the commission to take steps to prevent it from happening again. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody online for citizens' comments?
No one has their hand raised.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Item number 3, Commissioner Grella.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration of the minutes from the regular meeting held January 9, 2024. I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, Commissioner Silverman.
Thank you, Madam President. Public hearing and consideration of ordinance bill number 1-24, amending the Mount Lebanon Code to include newly enacted ordinances or amendments to existing ordinances since January 24th, 2023.
Conduct the public hearing.
You have no one
Nobody.
signed up on
Not
the
a
sheet.
one. So is
You
anybody
can
else?
ask if anybody in the room or online would like to make a comment.
Anybody want to make a comment on this? Okay, not seeing any. End of the public hearing.
Close the public hearing.
I move to enact ordinance bill number 1-24.
Second.
All those in favor of enacting ordinance bill number 124, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Flynn, item number 5.
Thank you, Madam President. I am really excited about this one. Consideration of resolution R-2-24, approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with Aetna. Mount Lebanon and the Borough of Etna have discussed and agreed to institute and administer a program whereby Mount Lebanon will provide assistance with certain aspects of Etna's financial operations. The details of this program are set forth in a draft agreement. Initially, the program will entail assistance with processing and reporting of accounts payable transactions. The agreement is authorized by the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act and must be approved by resolution. Madam President, I move to adopt resolution R-2-24.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
I forgot
All those in-
questions or comments. Doggone it. I'll get it. I'll get it. Maybe by the end of the year, I'll have it down. What do you think?
Pace yourself.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, number 6, Mr. Sigler, Commissioner Sigler.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration of resolution R-3-24, approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with Churchill. Mount Lebanon and the Borough of Churchill have discussed and agreed to institute and administer a program whereby Mount Lebanon will provide assistance with certain aspects of Churchill's financial operations. The details of the program are as set forth in a draft agreement. Initially, the program will entail assistance with processing and reporting of accounts payable transactions. The agreement is authorized by the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act and must be approved by resolution. Madam President, I move to adopt resolution R-3-24.
Any questions or comments by Commissioner?
Second.
Seconded. God. Yep, again. I'll tell ya. All right, got the second. Now, questions or comments?
This is a really great program. I think it was at the last discussion, right? Or
Yes.
was it before the holiday? Anyway, Andrew McCrary talked about it, Andrew Flynn talked about it.
Mhm.
For those who want to know more about it, there was also an article written about it, which I think, I don't know if it came out anywhere, but yeah. And the article was great. So for people who want to know more about this, maybe Laura can share something on the website or. Perfect, yeah. But it's a great program, makes government more efficient. We're sharing resources with other organizations that are in some ways unable to do some of the things that we could do. So it's a great program and I don't, you might not recognize that for our massive TV audience out there, just reading this one paragraph.
I was born in Churchill. My parents still live in Churchill, so I'd be curious to see what the impact is for them by what we're doing here today.
Right. No. Thank you, Mr. McCreary. Done a great job for us.
Here.
I just wanted to say that, I don't know if you saw the news in Churchill, but they just lost their manager. He went to swim in Roto.
Really?
First thought I had for anecdotal is this is why we're walking the greatest. They will not lose, once we're up and running, this happened to them at that time, they don't lose any, efficiency of operations, because behind the scenes, they're not losing that knowledge. It's just saying.
Right.
And the next manager coming in will be able to jump right off.
It's great.
Everybody okay? No
Thank
questions
you.
or comments any further? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, Commissioner Grella.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the award of the backwater valve maintenance contract. One bid was received on December 5, 2023 for the backwater valve maintenance project. This contract is used to maintain the sanitary sewer backwater valves at various addresses in the municipality. The project includes a provision for renewal for second, third, and fourth year at the municipality's discretion. Municipal engineer has verified the bid as follows. It's on the screen here. It should be on the screen for those at home. Can't tell. Hopefully it is. But the one bidder was Roto-Rooter Services. The engineer's estimate and budgeted base bid amount for this work is approximately $23,216. Because only one bid was received and the bid is within the budgeted base bid amount, the engineer recommends that the contract be awarded. The amount of work issued under the contract will be paid for from the sanitary fund. I move to award the 2024 backwater maintenance valve project bid to Roto-Rooter Services in the amount of $16,866.
I second.
Questions and comments from commissioners?
The backwater valves help to prevent sanitary sewage from backing up into your house.
That's right.
This is a good thing.
Mhm.
Seems
Yep,
great.
you want these,
The valves are good. The outcome is better.
Yes, exactly.
right?
Don't want sewage, want the valves.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Number 8, Mr. Silverman.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the award of the sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation contract for 2024. Bids were received on December 5th, 2023 for the sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation program. This project involves the rehabilitation of sanitary sewer manholes showing signs of deterioration throughout the municipality. This is a required activity of the EPA consent order. The contract includes a base year, 2024, with 2 optional renewal periods. This allows the contract to extend at Mount Lebanon's discretion to maintain contractor continuity and reduce bidding costs. Municipal manager has verified the bids as follows. They are on my right and the audience's left, and Commissioner Grella's point hopefully online as well. The manager has reviewed the bids and determined the low bid to be accurate. Municipal engineer recommends the award of the contract to Robinson Pipe Cleaning Company. The contractor has successfully completed this contract work in the municipality previously. The engineer's estimate of this work is $559,185, and the project is to be funded through the sanitary sewer fund. I move to award the sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation program contract to Robinson Pipe Cleaning Company in the amount of $470,125 for 2024, with the option for additional years at the municipality's discretion for the terms of the contract documents.
Second.
Questions, comments from commissioners?
Just one comment. A couple of years ago, Dan, I know you were working with a resident who had a question about stuff related to sanitary. I just wanted to make sure that we're still operating under the same notification terms. I don't think we've had a problem since then. I think it's been like 3-4 years, but I just want to make sure the contractors are aware of their notification responsibilities for nearby residents when sanitary work is being done.
Yeah, they are, and that issue related more to the lining that we do, and it was an odor that came up through a
Trap.
bad trap.
Yeah.
But we've increased notification, we've changed some of the protocols, so they're all aware of
And
that.
I don't think we've had any issues
We have
since then. Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Okay, seeing no further questions and comments, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, Mr. Flynn.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the award of the sanitary and storm sewer lining contract. Bids were received on December 5th, 2023 for the Mount Lebanon Sanitary and Storm Sewer Lining Project. This project involves sanitary and storm sewer full-length manhole-to-manhole lining. The bid includes items which could be used in such work, and bids were submitted by 4 contractors and verified by the municipal engineer as presented on screen and online. The municipal engineer has reviewed the bids and determined the low bid to be accurate. The municipal engineer recommends the project be awarded to Jet Jack Inc. The contractor has successfully completed contract work in Mount Lebanon previously. The engineer's estimate for this work is approximately $1,295,000, and the project will be paid for from the Sanitary and Storm Sewer Fund. Madam President, I move to award the Mount Lebanon Sanitary Storm Sewer Lining Project contract to Jet Jack Inc. in the amount of $1,041,950.
I say second, man, you sound like a game show. Now the grand prize package.
I think with questions and comments, this is the appropriate time to announce that Mr. Flynn is one of our new volunteer firemen. So we congratulate him for that, but I wonder if the fire department is ready for you. I'm not sure.
I'm sure there are characters much greater than me.
Here we go. Any other questions or comments? No, seeing none? All those in favor, say so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 10, Mr. Siegler. Mhm.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for renewal of the 2024 sanitary and storm sewer point repair contract. Bids were received on February 21st, 2022 for the sanitary and storm sewer point repair contract. This contract is used to make repairs in the sanitary and storm sewer system as they are identified in the calendar year through investigative work or emergency situations. The bid includes 138 items associated with the work, and as such, the total contract value is overstated in the amount of work that will be completed in any calendar year. In 2023, $245,789.42 was spent. To address this issue, the contract documents clearly state that there is no guarantee as to the amount of work issued by the municipality. The contract includes a base year 2022 with 2 optional renewal periods. The municipal engineer previously verified the bids as follows. If you'll look at the screen, you can see that Neando Construction, Inc. Submitted a bid of $956,424,000. Based upon the past performance of the contractor, the engineer recommends award of the contract to Neando Construction, Inc. The amount of work issued under the contract will be paid for from the sanitary and storm sewer funds. Madam President, I move to award the second renewal period 2024 sanitary and storm sewer point repair contract to Neando Construction, Inc. in the amount of $1,032,937.92.
Second.
Questions, comments?
This is a very important contract. If residents remember in 2018, we had, I think, 200-year storm events or greater than 100-year storm events within a couple months. And we had a lot of problems, both with sanitary overflows and stormwater overflows. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but I think Neando's been the company that's been doing a lot of the sanitary work for us since then, no? Yeah. 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 Yeah, they've done a lot of good work and it's important work for stuff that's sometimes out of sight, out of mind. So
Seeing no other questions or comments? All those in favor, so signify.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 11, Commissioner Grella.
thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the renewal of the chemical root treatment contract for 2024. Bids were received on February 21, 2023 for the chemical root treatment project. This project includes the chemical root treatment of approximately 45,000 linear feet of sanitary sewers throughout the municipality of Mount Lebanon. Contract includes a base year 2023 with 3 optional renewal periods. 1 bid was received. The municipal engineer previously verified it as follows. It's on the screen and hopefully on the screen at home. The engineer's estimate for the work in 2023 was $85,180, and based upon the past performance of the contractor, the engineer recommends award of the contract to Duke's Root Control, Inc. The first renewal period for the 2024 year represents a 5% increase above the 2023 contract. Project will be paid for from the Sanitary Sewer Fund. I move to award the first renewal period, 2024 Chemical Root Treatment Program to Duke's Root Control, Inc. in the amount of $88,357.50.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 12, Commissioner Silverman.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the renewal of the annual storm and sanitary sewer cleaning and televising contract. Bids were received on January 18th, 2022 for the annual storm and sanitary sewer cleaning and televising contract. This contract for 2024 encompasses cleaning and video inspection to fulfill the requirements of the operation and maintenance portion of the consent order, as well as to inspect sewers under roads to be repaved and reconstructed. The contract includes a base year 2022 with 2 optional renewal periods. Municipal engineer previously verified the bids, and they are on the screen on my right and the audience's left. Based on past performance of the contractor, the engineer recommends the award of the contract to Roto-Rooter Services Company. The base bid for the 2024 contract represents a 1.22% decrease in the amount of contract amount compared to 2023. The amount of work issued under the contract will be paid for by the sanitary and stormwater funds. I move to award the 2024 renewal of the storm and sanitary sewer cleaning and televising contract to Roto-Rooter Services Company in the amount of $219,910.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 13.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the award of the Corrective Action Repair Project. Bids were received on December 5th, 2023 for the Mount Lebanon Corrective Action Repair Contract. This project involves sanitary sewer rehabilitation work, including manhole-to-manhole lining and manhole rehabilitation. The bid includes items which could be used in such work, and bids were submitted by 4 contractors and verified by the municipal engineer as presented on screen. The municipal engineer has reviewed the bids and determined the lowest responsive bid to be accurate. The municipal engineer recommends the project be awarded to In Situ Form Technologies LLC. The contractor has successfully completed this type of work in Mount Lebanon previously. The engineer's estimate for this work is $3,138,000, and the project will be paid for from an Alcosan Grow Grant and from the Sanitary Sewer Fund. Madam President, I move to award the Mount Lebanon Corrective Action Repair Project contract to In Situ Form Technologies LLC in the total amount of $2,834,822.50 for both the base bid, $2,644,922.50, and add alternate number 1, $189,900.
Second.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 14, Commissioner Siegler.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration to purchase one ready-to-use 4-wheel drive Ford F-350 truck from Jim Shorkey Truck Sales through the Pennsylvania CoStarz Purchasing Program. This truck will replace truck number 252, a 2013 E250 full-size van, which will be sold at auction upon receipt of the new vehicle. The new truck is a 2023 F-350 extended cab 4-wheel drive cab and chassis outfitted with utility body and emergency lighting. The vehicle cost is $72,687.62 under the CoStar Cooperative Purchasing Agreement 025-E22-464 and 012-E23-318. Funding for this vehicle has been appropriated in the 2024 municipal budget at $75,000. Madam President, I move to purchase one Ford F-350 extended cab four-wheel drive truck from Jim Shorkey Truck Sales through the Pennsylvania CoStarz Purchasing Program, contract number 025-E22-464 and 012-E23-318 at a total cost of $72,687.62.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
I appreciate the manager's memo relating to the search for electric vehicles. We have reference to a climate action policy and complete streets policy in our comprehensive plan and other resolutions that we've passed talking about the reduction of our carbon footprint. I would normally vote no on this measure and would not even bring the next motion that's coming up after this, but unfortunately, there are very few, if any, options related to alternative fuel vehicles for these two particular fleet vehicles, large fleet vehicles. So unfortunately, this is all we have. So we may have to wait for some further technology for electric vehicles of bigger truck sizes.
That's what it looked like from the very informative memo.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Sukol. Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 15, Commissioner Grella.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration to purchase one ready-to-use four-wheel drive Ford F-350 truck from Jim Shorkey Truck Sales through the Pennsylvania CoStarz Purchasing Program. This truck will replace truck number 231, 2011 E-250 extended van, which will be sold at auction upon receipt of the new vehicle. The new truck is a 2023 F-350 crew cab, four-wheel drive cab and chassis uplifted with a utility body and emergency lighting. The vehicle cost is $73,014.18 under the CoStar Cooperative Purchasing Agreements 025-E22-464 and 012-E23-318. Funding for this vehicle has been appropriated in the 2024 municipal budget at $75,000. I move to purchase one F-350 extended cab four-wheel drive truck from Jim Shorkey Truck Sales through the Pennsylvania CoStarz Purchasing Program, contract numbers 025-E22-464 and 012-E23-318 at a total cost of $73,014.18.
Seconded.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 16, Commissioner Silverman.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration to purchase one ready-to-use four-wheel drive snowplow truck from Wilson Wind Ford through the Pennsylvania CoStarz Purchasing Program. This truck will replace truck number 228, a 2014 model Ram 5500, which will be sold at auction upon receipt of the new vehicle. The new truck includes a 2024 F-550 four-wheel drive cab and chassis, a 6.7-liter Ford turbo diesel engine, 6-speed automatic transmission, snowplow preparation package, 9-foot Morocco aluminum dump body, central hydraulic system, stainless steel tailgate, salt spreader, 9-foot snowplow, and a trailer tow package at a total cost of $132,169. No one can do this as well as Commissioner Flynn. Funding for this vehicle has been appropriated in the 2024 municipal budget at $139,920. I move to purchase one ready-to-use four-wheel drive snowplow truck from Wilson Wind Ford through the Pennsylvania CoStarz Purchasing Program, contract numbers 025-E22-401 and 025-E22-441 at a total cost of $132,169.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Flynn.
Thank you,
number
Madam President.
16.
Consideration to purchase one Tarco Windy 40 leaf blower to replace a unit that has reached the end of its useful life. Sorry. Commission approval is
It's really
requested.
serious business.
Commission approval is requested to purchase one trailer-mounted leaf loader from A&H Equipment at a total cost of $88,797.45. Funding for this vehicle has been appropriated in the 2024 municipal budget at $89,130. A&H Equipment participates in the Pennsylvania CoStarz Purchasing Program Contract 25-E22-458. Madam President, I move to purchase one trailer-mounted leaf loader through the CoStarz Purchasing Program from A&H Equipment at a cost of $88,797.45.
Second.
Questions or comments?
What's the difference between the 40 and the 60?
Oh, my. I just want to know if we can paint this to look like Snuffleupagus, because, that's really what it is. And, I think it would be really something great for the kids in the community. It's just my own personal thing. Okay. I'm-
Some paint.
Okay, cool. See, we have lots of people that like this. Okay. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And Mr. Ziegler.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration of the expenditure list for December totaling $4,448,987.55. Madam President, I move to approve the expenditure list for December totaling $4,448,987.55.
Second.
Any questions or comments? None. Okay. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nope. And last but not least, Commissioner Grella.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask that the departmental reports be received and filed.
Second.
Those in favor? Nope, we don't have to do that.
Nope.
right? Cool. Perfect.
We're good. They will.
Okay. We're now adjourned.
Support.